Hello you dirty potters, how are you today? Today I wanted to show you something that's a little bit intermediate, but I see advanced potters do it a lot. Today I want to show you guys how to use your environment when making textured surfaces on your pottery for detail. It's actually extremely easy, especially for someone like me who has a lot of nature around them. It's a little bit easier for me because I have so much nature and texture around me. As for someone in New York, it might be a tiny bit harder to find this stuff, but today I'm going to show you how to just literally pick texture and stuff up off the ground and use it in your pottery. Now before we get started, there's one thing that I heavily suggest you get that'll help you along with this type of technique, and that is a little roller. I got this one from Amazon for maybe $10 or $11. It came really fast, and it's basically just meant to press textures into stuff. Because you can do it with your hands, but it's a little bit harder, and this just has a very nice, even, smooth roll. So if you get one of these, you can find them very easily on Amazon for this price. I even went out of my way to go and find the picture and the price for you. You better click that like button. You will also be needing some freshly thrown artwork that is no longer tacky. I threw these maybe about an hour and a half ago, so I can touch them without worry of having like water or my hands getting wet or anything like that. So they don't have to be like super dry or in the leather phase, they just have to be not tacky, because the softer they are, the easier the imprint will be when we roll it on. But the harder it gets, the harder it's going to be. So remember to do this when it's fairly fresh still. And the third thing we need is, hold on. And the third thing you're going to need is some type of piece of your environment in which you can kind of embed onto your ceramic artwork. I will be showing you how to use this little tiny pebble today, which actually makes little circles. It's fantastic when you put glaze over it. And I'll also be showing you how to roll on kind of an imprint of this leaf pattern onto your pottery. This is also kind of a cheat code because you technically don't have to learn how to carve or draw this into your ceramic artwork. You can just get one of these and roll it straight on, especially while the clay is soft. Potter tip! Whatever you want to put on there, make sure it's not too brittle and make sure it's not too thick. If it's too brittle, you're just gonna kind of end up breaking it off. So make sure you get something nice and movable, something that doesn't break very easily. Because if I push this on here and decide to roll it on, it's probably just gonna break and mess up the texture. I'm just gonna put this right in the middle of the plate, hold the leaf a little bit, and just start rolling very hard, but also very firmly and slowly. And when it's nice and done, you can just slowly peel it off, and usually you'll get a super nice texture all the way at the bottom of your plate. You can definitely see the stem as the stem is a little bit thicker, but you can even see some of the veins of the trees all the way from the bottom of this texture I picked up off the ground. And keep in mind, all I did is I threw a regular old plate and just picked up a little leaf from outside and just kind of compressed it on. It's really this easy. Let's do the other one now. Oh, I almost broke it. You technically don't really need the roller while you're doing this technique. You can very easily just get whatever textured leaf you want outside and just kind of compress it down into the soft body of the clay and just kind of do this. I just find it easier to roll stuff on than I do to compress it down with my own hands myself. That being said, if you do have texture much like the previous one, and you really want the indent of whatever texture you have on, there's no shame in just kind of going over it with your fingers a few times. The harder you press down, the easier it'll be, especially for a plate. But if we were doing this on a mug, I would not be pushing this hard. And do keep in mind that these aren't special, these aren't super artistic or anything. This is literally just a flat plate in which I rose the wall a little bit on and just kind of nailed down a texture into it from the tree outside. This didn't require an extreme amount of artwork, but I do have this beautiful natural texture inside of both of my plates now. This little pebble here is a little bit cooler to me because it pretty much razors down into, I can make little divots inside my clay body. But what most people use them for is they will usually use it in a pattern. So they'll put little dots all around the surface of one of their cups, one of their bowls, and the texture of your pottery really takes a liking to the glaze when it runs over it. But Donte, is it just as simple as pushing it into the clay body, just how you did with the last one? Yes, actually it is exactly that simple. The only real difference is that you want to find a pebble that's kind of roundish or at least pointed. I got very lucky in that I found one that has a point to it on one side and is round on the other, so I can either do this or I can do this. Either way, I'm making texture. There's two main things that you should probably remember when using a pebble in this fashion. Number one, if the pebble is textured, the inside of the textures that you make on your clay body are also going to be textured. You see how these kind of look like little moon craters? Well, that wouldn't look like that if I had a really smooth polished pebble. So if you want something a little bit more smooth, go ahead and grab yourself a polished pebble or maybe a little gem, something of that manner. But this is just, I just grabbed this from the yard. I was trying to make a point that you can essentially use anything in your surroundings, but I don't want to make more plates. I would usually actually never combine these two techniques. Like I would either do this or do this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this plate now. Comment if you want me to fire this, comment down below. But this is an abomination right now. This is also a really popular technique to use on plates because they're a flat surface. They're easy to push down and not mess it up before you start trimming them. But if you do it on cups, you're gonna have to put a little bit of counter pressure. Stick your hand in there, put it right here. I'm gonna stop doing that. I kind of want to make these a set, but I also don't want to make this one look as ugly as this one because this one seems fine and that one looks like someone just has no artistic skill. Oh, that's me. Well, thank you, Dirty Potters, for joining me today. We might do some more stuff like this in a chill, relaxing video. I do have a playlist of me just not talking and throwing artwork, so we might do a little bit more of this later on another channel. I've already made something akin to this with another leaf I found outside on this vase, so it's something that I've been kind of messing with for a little bit now. These types of techniques are more impressive on like teapots and mugs and whatnot. They're just super easy to do on plates. Hopefully this kind of sparked your guys' imagination to grab a piece of bark from the outside world and just start, Hot Wheels in it all day long. But thank you, Dirty Potters, for joining me today. If you'd like to see any of my artwork, the links are always down below for your beautiful Potter eyes to see. The new website /store/blog, I don't know why they gave me my own website, but it seems to be doing pretty good so far. The Instagram, the Facebook, if you want to see some pretty pottery pictures. I love your Dirty Potter faces, and I will see you guys next week.